What is up, everybody? Welcome to the RSL Season 2 Finals. I'm Tasteless, and joined with me is Gemini. How you doing, buddy?
Very good. Very excited to get this grand finals started, so that way we can crown our second champion of our wonderful little tournament here. It's been a great time so far, and it's going to be one more excellent day.
Time's moving so fast. It feels like we planned this whole thing out just yesterday, but here we are. We're in the Season 2 Finals. We've had some incredible games here in the last week. Some of the hypest, literally some of the hypest, craziest games I've ever seen in StarCraft II.
Yeah, some of them are crazy, just base trades everywhere, hidden bases, just like absolutely ridiculous games.
So it's been wild, man. And tonight it's going to be a PvP. It was kind of a funny setup that we had here for the tournament. We were just basically, it was not clear if we're going to even have a Zerg get that deep at all. Raynor was the last remaining Zerg player. And then over on the Terran side of things, it was Cure. They ended up having to duke it out in one of the best of fives that we had in the entire tournament. Cure looked like he had a real shot at actually beating Zoun back there, but Zoun, with a crazy comeback, ultimately managed to come out on top. So, guys, this is Season 2 of the RSL. We do have Season 3 planned. We'll be announcing those dates coming up here. We also have the RSL Offline Finals. That's going to be live in Seoul. 15 million Korean won prize pool. We are so close to inking the deal out here with a venue. We're going to staff it. It'll be 2 days of StarCraft II action. We're going to have tickets on sale. If you want to get notified for when those tickets are going to be on sale, please feel free to join us on Patreon. But casters will be there, players will be there. You can be there too.
Yeah, we'll be posting all of that information on the socials as well, so X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, all those different things. We'll be posting that for everyone, so if you want to be joining us live, then don't worry. We will get that info to you as soon as we have it for you.
We are also partnered with Archon Studio. They're making the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game. That's going to be on pre-sale later this year, but I would go to their website. They've got a ton of incredible products on there. They're really the #1 in the world premier tabletop miniatures game company. And, the truth is, I wasn't that familiar with tabletop miniatures games in general. My buddy, the late Jeff and Control Robinson, was super into them. But I got to say, when I took a look at what they had on there, they've got a lot of really cool stuff for franchises outside of StarCraft as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to have it up in the studio. It's going to be cool. I've seen some of the minifigures that they've already released some videos, some leaks of them, and they look awesome. Like, they actually, the detail on them looks incredible. They're so true to how they look in-game and everything. So, yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait to get our hands on that. It's awesome that they're supporting us.
Consider joining our Patreon. With the current state of StarCraft II, it's really in the hands of the community. And we want to carry the torch forward. We had a lot of downtime this year with StarCraft II. We weren't sure if there was going to be more tournaments. We weren't sure if we were going to be at EWC. And over dinner, we basically decided, why don't we just start to run our own seasonal tournament, which is what we're doing now. So if you want to support us in our endeavors to do that, the money goes to the prize pool. It goes to staffing our studio here, getting equipment, as well as our live event at the end of the year here in Seoul.
Yeah, plenty of different things that you can get from this. You can get replay packs. You can get discounted merch. You can get an actual ticket to the offline event as well. So lots of stuff that you can get from this. We would love to have your support.
We've also got merch. You got to have merch, man. It's 20% off if you're a Patreon member. It's tastelessthreads.com. That's the site. We've got a ton of great hoodies, mugs. These are the RSL ones. We also have other kind of esports related stuff on the website as well, or gaming related stuff. So check it out. I think there's something for any kind of person,
Yeah, I do like the ones of you and Artosis with the
ugly
ridiculous
drawings.
faces.
the very unflattering.
I love when you just wear that out in public, just without any shame. You're just
No, I've only worn it out in public once. Unless I'm casting, I'll wear it. But because one time I wore it, and then I went to a bar with a friend afterwards, and the bartender said, "Is that you on your shirt?" And I went, "Oh yeah." And then the lady went, "You wear your own merch?" And I went, "Oh God, she's right. I am a loser." Guys, speaking of losers, you're a loser if you're not on our YouTube, okay? Go subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to Revive SC2 on YouTube. We need to grow this thing. Most of you are probably watching on Twitch here, but a lot of people, if they can't get the VODs or they don't even know about our tournament, they can find it there. So we want to get that out into the algorithm over there. And we started this a couple months ago, basically. We kind of had to ramrod through Season 1, and there was a lot of prep trying to find a place and get all the equipment. Then we all came back from EWC. We're here now. We're about to bang through Season 2. The YouTube's been growing, but we would love to grow it even faster.
Yes, it's been a great couple of seasons so far. Of course, this is the grand finals of the second season. Like we said earlier, we got one more season to go before that offline finals. Each winner as well is going to be seeded into the finals as well. So we'll have this time it's going to be not Classic because he won last season, actually. We're in a back-to-back scenario. And to show the actual bracket itself, Zoun is going to be going up against Classic, so he's already gotten his spot over to the offline finals by making it here in the first place.
And Classic's been on a real tear out here. I mean, he's been basically the most dominant player in Asia as of late. And, it's funny. Zoun is an unusual guy to have in the finals here. No disrespect to him. But, you look at this bracket, you would think, okay, maybe Raynor, maybe Maru. But in fact, it was Zoun that managed to overcome a ton of very difficult opponents and get here. And it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out because Classic right now, I think everybody would be in agreement, is basically the favorite.
Yeah, no, he's looking like one of the strongest players in the world at this point. And obviously this is the two that we do have playing against each other. Classic playing for Virtus Pro, Zoun for Vitality. I mean, both these players very storied. I think Classic, though, coming in, obviously, as you said, the obvious favorite. Coming in, just such a history on this guy. I mean, he won GSLs like over 10 years ago, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. That hadn't really sunk in until I heard it in an interview where I'm like, oh my God, it has been 10 years since he was so dominant. Because I guess, I don't know, it feels like it's all more close together, right?
Yeah.
But he stuck with the game and basically went through a decade of not being on top of the world. But he's managed to come back. He's got a really strong play style. We should also mention, the game is about to be patched. There's been a new patch that's been announced. And so this may be the last major tournament with this in this iteration of StarCraft II. And that does matter, even in a mirror matchup like PvP, right? There's going to be some massive fundamental changes here for Protoss. And in this current iteration of the game, Classic seems to be the guy who's got it all figured out.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Here's been the last couple forms from each players for 2025. Lots of great high finishes, of course, for Classic, looking at those couple first places in the GSL Season 2 and RSL Revival Season 1. And then even second place coming in at EWC is pretty substantial. Zoun, on the other hand, has had a couple of good placings, but you can see, he's been struggling a little bit more in some of the other high-tier events. I mean, he did also, interestingly enough, kind of come back from military pretty recently.
Yeah.
He came back, honestly, at the end of 2024. I think it's in September or so. And so he's kind of had to come back a little bit and get his old form back, essentially, whereas Classic has been kind of just riding it out and playing the whole time. So the fact that Zoun is even able to get to this form after coming back from the military like that is pretty impressive.
It's really impressive. Back in the day, because all young, able-bodied Korean men have to serve compulsory military service. So it's like, I think now, it used to be 2 years, I think it's 18 months now.
18 months, yeah.
Yeah. Although sometimes it depends on what your role is.
Some people get different jobs, especially depending on like your functional,
your physical ability, or maybe your expertise. Like maybe you're really good with computers, they might put you in more of a tech position or something like that. Anyways, when you're serving in the military in Korea, you're not allowed to make an extra form of income. Like you can't have a side hustle, basically, which means you can't be a pro gamer. So when I moved to Korea, I guess I've been here for about 17 years now. The general sense was that a military service, the time you serve in the military is a death sentence to your career. Turns out that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
Now these games have been out for so long, and you can basically have a hiatus and then come back and still compete, which is great to hear.
Yeah, we've had plenty of examples. I mean, Beyond has done it. We've gotten DRG in the past. Zoun's doing it now. So, yeah, lots of players are able to come back from that. And so, yeah, having Zoun come in, trying to do what he can against Classic in this grand finals. So far, it's been a lot of success, though, for Classic in this specific head-to-head. 13 series to only 5 for Zoun. So definitely going to be favored for Classic for the most part in this, and even in the upper bracket finals, these two did play, and Classic had a dominant 4-1 victory, although the last game of that series was also absolutely ridiculous with some more base trade action. So, the fact that this series has that potential is definitely here.
Zoun's definitely the underdog, but he can punch above his weight for sure.
Yep.
And, PvP, it's a pretty complex matchup in the early game. Sometimes, we have matchups where, like if you look at the last game we casted with Cure versus Zoun, there was very basic openers, right?
Yeah.
And they all kind of led into the same direction. And, with some exceptions, it basically brought out a very specific type of game. PvP can go in a lot of different directions early on. So we should see a really big range of play. And that can go from one-base all-ins all the way to mass, macro, PvP, huge battles.
Yeah. The early game is definitely what we are going to be taking a good look at in this series. Lots of potential proxy openings, lots of mind games to be thrown around, of course. But then, like you said, there's still always that possibility that the players just want to play it passive, might get a very long disruptor dodgeball war or something like that. Would be great to see, but overall, it's definitely going to be a classic favored match, and it makes sense considering he's coming in from the upper bracket as well.
So this is going to be our map lineup here in this best of 7. And by the way, to make it clear to everybody, we made a slight improvement from Season 1 to Season 2. Since Classic's in the winner's bracket, he has to just win this one best of 7. But let's say that Zoun actually comes and wins. Well, since he came from the loser's bracket, when he wins, or I should say if he wins that best of 7 versus Classic, there's a reset and we go into a best of 3.
Yeah, you want to have some sort of benefit for the upper bracket player, considering they haven't actually lost yet in the tournament. So they should have at least some opportunity to have that same benefit, essentially. So that's what it is here. The best of 7 first, and then if it is needed, we will be going into that reset of a best of 3, which would be so hype if we could actually get there. It would be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, we got to see. I mean, there's a world where today is insanely long and dramatic, or who knows, man. I mean, Classic might 4-0. He's a very strong player, so we're going to see here. But yeah, I'm super excited for this map lineup. By the way, I think these maps for this season have been great. Yeah. We've let our Patreon supporters vote on what maps look like the most fun and the most interesting. And I got to say, they did a good job picking the maps.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're very fun. We've had a lot more of them showing up in some of the series, I think, overall, compared to the first season, which was also good to see that we have just more representation. I mean, Evil Heart has led for some very interesting strategies. Botanical seems to be like pretty just an overall good, solid map.
Yeah.
Cenotaph had a couple of really good bangers as well, so I don't know. It's a great map lineup that we have this time around. So if you guys voted for any of these from the Patreon, big thanks to you guys.
We are going to be going into game number 1 in this best of 7, Classic versus Zoun, starting now. And we have Zoun here in the top right, Classic in the bottom left. And, let's see what kind of openings we're going to be getting here. Zoun has had a hard time versus Classic. Basically, everybody has. I mean, Classic almost won EWC. He almost became the world champion. And that was not really someone, I think, if you've gone back into 2024, Classic was not on the radar in the same way that he is now.
Yeah, it's definitely, he was pretty good, I would say. Like, everyone's like, yeah, no, Classic is always just kind of a solid player to remember. He's just always kind of there. But, like, he's just had a crazy resurgence coming into 2025 and has just been showing unbelievable form, basically. And this last couple months has been really, really great for him. The fact that he got to the finals of EWC is extremely impressive. But, I mean, when you're going against Cyril, of all people, it's going to be hard no matter what.
Yeah, Cyril basically came back and really reclaimed that spot as a dominant player. And so, Classic still hungry to prove himself. Has already won Season 1 of RSL. We're going to see how he fares here in Season 2. Because of the way this map is shaped, both players seem to be interested in fast expanding. And both players right now are going to use their probes to try to block that Nexus. So it's going to be Classic getting his Nexus up first. And right now, Zoun has not actually been able to throw that Nexus down. I would not be shocked if we ended up seeing maybe even a pylon. Oh, okay, he gets it down.
Wow. That was actually pretty slick, the fact that he was able to get that. That's actually very key that he was able to get that, too, because Classic was also able to sneak his out a little bit quicker. I think He put a little laughing thing in chat there. I think he was saying that, Zoun maybe messed up on the block a little bit and actually let him get the Nexus up. So yeah, it would still be a little bit quicker here for Classic, which is overall going to be favoring him just a tiny bit. But it shouldn't be the end of the game. Basically, it looks like Zoun will have a slightly faster Cyber Core in exchange, so he will be able to get just a little bit quicker attack here, but really nothing that's going to be too substantial. We'll see what they end up going for. Generally, the 1-gate versus 1-gate stuff does kind of lead to a lot of Stargate openers, just because it's overall the most versatile building that you can go for on the defense and the potential offense as well. And we'll see Classic throwing that down right away. And I would not be surprised to see Zoun just follow suit right after as well. And there it does go.
So the Stargate is going to be part of the wall over here. And the Mass Phoenix is a real reality when you see Stargates on both sides. We don't get to cast that many Mass Phoenix games, but on this map, it's pretty standard. And again, we have to confirm. We have to start to see the Phoenixes start on both sides. And one of the I guess that's not really a problem. One of the features of two players going Phoenixes is they basically can't stop.
Yeah.
Because
it's an arms race.
Yeah, it becomes a full-on arms race. And then, let's say one side has a bad exchange and they lose all the Phoenixes. Well, then you can go kill all the workers. You can pick up whatever units they have on the ground and kill that. And so, we want to watch for that. Also, when you go Mass Phoenix, a lot of times it's about, if you can get a good exchange, trying to corner their Phoenixes. Yeah. Phoenixes can moving shot. I remember when I first played and looked at the Phoenix, I was almost disgusted by how much you could just move. You can move and shoot. It will fire. It doesn't require any kind of special micro, which means it can punish insanely. If you start to lose a fight, you basically can't get away.
Yeah.
In Phoenix versus Phoenix.
Yeah, no, it's a cool little mechanic of the unit itself. I remember when they actually patched that in, and we were all just like, oh, especially because it was mostly to be used against mutas, because like mutas were just kind of destroying Protoss players in the early days, and when that got added in, we were just like, oh, thank God, this is so much better. So sick.
Well, I mean, the same thing happened in Brood War. Actually, in StarCraft 1, before the Brood War expansion pack came out, is Mutalisks were too strong, so they had to basically put Corsairs in the game because otherwise Protoss had no answer for these things. We've got a pylon tucked away down here in the bottom right side of the map. And I assume this is going to be used as a launching pad for attacks later on. Classic got a second Stargate, which is really important. Now, the gateway down here is just going to be to boost more warp-ins from that position there. But, Zoun may be hitting a little bit earlier here. He's going to go for 3 gateways. And even though Classic will have more Phoenixes, maybe there's going to be more on the ground that can take this fight. We're going to see in about a minute here.
Yeah, this is the nice mind game that Zoun's trying to go for here. Still making Phoenixes. Oh, if he sees this, that's actually gigantic. It completely negates the mind game that he's trying to go for, which was showing a continuous Phoenix production out of his forward Stargate while feigning the idea that he's also going for double Stargate, whereas Classic is the one going into what he's assuming a Phoenix War, but it's actually going to be Zoun going for a big gateway attack to try and break this. Oh my God, if he just gets caught out with the Phoenixes, that would be dead. Oh my God, that'd be awful for him. We'll able to at least get some of these trades, but you can see just how many more Phoenix Classic has in this engagement already. Barely any of them getting killed off, while all of Zoun's are killed. And now he's just sitting here with just some gateway units that's already been scouted out. This is going to be quite difficult, I think, for Zoun to actually manage to break.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for Zoun right now. These Stalkers are going to come forward, but there's 3 shield batteries here to heal. And as you retreat, of course, Classic can dive in and pick up some of your units and just punish there. And, I don't know what Zoun's plan is. I was actually wondering when this gateway got spotted earlier if he should have just, ditched the whole thing and just tried to expand, but he's going to commit to it.
Yeah, even when Oracle getting sent across, knowing that he has to warp in back at home to deal with it, that's going to just completely destroy any momentum he was trying to gain at the front. Won't be able to find any damage there, and unfortunately has to GG out in pretty quick fashion. I like the mind game attempt from Zoun.
Yeah.
A lot of times the Phoenix Wars can get really, really volatile, and it's really awkward to go into it. And so trying to bring out a quick mind game to show that, hey, I am going Phoenixes as well, but then going something behind it is a nice play. Something else you can also try doing with that is like a proxy Dark Shrine, because they're not going to be going for detection quickly either. They're not going to get the Robo. They're not likely going to have an Oracle still either, so that's another play you can go for. But unfortunately, this time not working out for Zoun.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am curious what that game would look like had the gateway not been spotted.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was actually a pretty interesting move. to basically spring a bunch of Stalkers right when there's not enough Phoenixes to really swing it. You know, unfortunately, I mean, you see that. I don't know. Maybe he should have actually just expanded. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
Pylon spotted, the gateway spotted, but like at that point in time, that's so classic favored.
It's really rough because you're so committed to it and you just have no tech follow-up behind it, and you're going to have less Phoenixes. So once the player knows that you're going to have much less Phoenix, they could just jump on your Phoenix whenever they find them. And now that's when you're talking about where they just go for the probes. You have nothing really to stop them from doing that. And it gets really, really difficult. So I think Zoun, unfortunately, was kind of stuck in that position. He could have tried to macro out of it, but it definitely still would have been an uphill battle.
Are we going to plug something here? Okay, we're going to plug the Patreon. Guys, go to our Patreon. Check it out. Patreon.com/Revive SC2. The more you support, the more you will get back as far as being able to participate in the tournament. You can pick, vote on players. You can pick maps. Yeah, we've had a lot of people signing up for this thing. It's been super exciting, and we've been loving building out this studio and basically making regular StarCraft content for you guys. I remember, being a kid, growing up in Kansas, and my brother and me were trying to figure out, how do we download these VODs of these Korean pro gamers? That was our Game of Thrones. That was our Breaking Bad, was the drama, the stories, who's going to become the best player in the world, and can I steal their strategies and actually use them for my own? And so we want to keep that going. We want to make regular content for you guys that is seasonal, that is episodic, right?
Yeah.
Not just a tournament that's going to be done in a weekend, although we have one of those coming too.
And it's going to be offline.
It's going to be offline in Seoul. But we wanted to make something that you could, a couple nights a week tune into and enjoy and watch the story unfold.
Yes, and I think it's been doing so great so far.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of the season, next season, is going to play out.
Yeah. So we're going to take a short little break. We come back. We're going to go to Game 2 in the finals here of Season 2 of the RSL. What is this? Oh my God, he's hiding and waiting in there? He waits in the room? Oh my God.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're going to go into game number 2 here of the Grand Finals of RSL Season 2 in just a moment. We've got Sturgeon joining as well, coming on over, the British GOAT, as I like to call him. Welcome on back. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for that. Very dominant game there by Classic. I'm hoping Zoun can rally and get some games on the board here, and we have an exciting final. Classic looking to be probably the best PvP player in the world right now. He did take the first series 4-1. Hopefully Zoun's got some builds prepared for us here in the series. Can't wait to keep going.
Yeah, it was a bit rough, unfortunately, for Zoun. I mean, basically just having his cheeky strategy getting scouted out pretty quickly right before it was about to take hold as well. That's like the worst thing. It's like you're going for this strategy, and it gets scouted at a time that's just at this the worst little crossroads where it's just late enough where canceling it just is like, I can't just cancel and just go back.
It's all good.
And then it's so early that it's still, or it's late enough that it's like, well, I just got to go. I just got to see if this can still work anyways, if it happens to do anything. And then the Phoenix kind of just getting stuck there in the middle, so he kind of has to force and just go for the engagement without all of his stalkers supporting as well. Very unfortunate for Zoun, but we're going to be moving on into the series. Of course, Ley Lines is going to be coming up next. That is not a one-gate expand map, so it might be a bit more comfortable for Zoun if he doesn't like to normally go for those sort of one-gate expand builds. So maybe that can be where he finds his strength coming into this later part of the series.
Yeah, for sure. I really like that Zoun did try something kind of cheeky in game number 1, though. It shows that he is playing with some confidence here in Grand Finals. He's not going to be, being shy or just playing it safe. He's going to try some cool stuff. He's going to take the Fight 2 Classic, mix it up a bit. And like you said, once Classic got that timing with the Phoenixes, it snowballs out of control so quickly. Kind of a textbook game from him, very standard. That's kind of what we know him for. We are jumping into game number 2 on Ley Lines here, guys. Classic is 1-0 up against Zoun right now. And as you said, this map could lead to some slightly different strategies.
Yeah, we'll see which ones they do decide to favor, of course. I mean, lots of proxies, still something that could be coming out as well. Both players do like to throw those in nowadays. I mean, there's been a lot of 3-gate Prism with a proxied Robo happening in a lot of the PvPs at the high level recently. So those are also always a possibility. We'll see Zoun going out with a slightly earlier Probe Scout, which could also, again, be a proxied probe as well. Whereas Classic is just going to be sitting back in his base for now and be doing either a late Scout or the very rare I'm not going to scout at all in PvP and just gamble my life away.
That's a very brave man if you do go down that road. I was just thinking about game 1 as well, the Nexus block going down for Classic, but Zoun wasn't able to block Classic's Nexus for as long. Yeah. It kind of seems like a small detail, but when you're both just making the same stuff, it can have a really big effect. And then, you know, obviously getting his building found later was kind of the nail in the coffin there. We do see a probe finally moving across the map here for Classic. Not going to be a madman and not scout at all. And we have cores going down for both sides. We'll have to see which one of these guys wants to be the aggressor here or which one looks to take a safe expansion after 1 gate. But pylons going down right now in the bases. You know, nothing crazy, no proxies out on the map at the moment.
Yeah, nothing crazy. The second pylon is generally what you would see being proxied if it was a Robo or a proxy Stargate or something like that. You could go for like a pylon in your base with like a proxied third pylon as well, but it just is a little bit later. And it also just kind of messes the build up a little bit, so it's kind of like a neat mind game to be like, hey, I have 2 pylons in my base. There's nothing weird to scout here. But then it does actually mess up the timings a bit to where you're just not really hitting at the time you want to be, and it doesn't really actually help you. So generally, pro players aren't going to be going for that. We do have what's going to be a mix-up in the early units, though, as a double Adept will be coming out from Classic, whereas Zoun's going for the Sentry Stalker, the more passive scouting option, whereas Classic might be trying to go for a little bit more aggression with his double Adept.
Absolutely. We do see both players getting the pylon block down this time, so Zoun isn't missing out there. As long as you cancel these at the last second.
No, he didn't.
Way.
Wow.
He didn't cancel it at the last second.
And Zoun gambled and let his finish against a double Adept opener. That's incredible.
Amazing. Okay, this is looking very good for Zoun here in the early game. He kind of wins the first mini battle in this game. He lets his pylon finish. Adepts, as you say, don't kill that pylon quickly. They just kind of chip away at it as the probes are trying to help out as well. So Zoun's Nexus here is super quick. And Classic is going for a Stargate on the back of this. Zoun continuing to make, you know, more Stalkers, more Sentries. He's building up a nice little count here. He has that pylon at the ramp so he can block the Adepts from getting in by quickly making a pylon, canceling it, remaking it, etc. And the Hallucinated Phoenix sees that it is an Oracle here first for Classic.
Yeah, this is a dream opener for Zoun, basically. It's so rare that you actually see the pylon actually finished. It looks like he's going to let these in because all of his units are in his main. So that's actually that's one way you can do it because it will guarantee that you kill them. But losing 3 probes is not amazing. But the fact that his Nexus is going to be much faster means he will catch up on this eventually. He just has to really make sure that the follow-up Oracle doesn't get crazy damage because that's when it can really get out of control. So this is okay as long as that doesn't happen, because then we need to be talking a little bit more about that. But regardless, Zoun should still be feeling pretty decent in this early game.
Absolutely, and he does have that shield battery in the main mineral line along with some sentries, so he's ready for the Oracle. He's got his defense set up. The shield batteries will heal the probes, obviously, as they're getting harassed. Try to save as many of those as possible. These probes just chilling out by the Nexus. Like, hey, when can we start working? Let us in. Trying to clock in there, down at the natural base. The Oracle's now moving across. He did wait for 2 of them.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's smart because 1 against the shield battery does basically nothing, right? And he saw that with the Adept, so this makes sense. The sentries here, he actually sees it very early. You're going to focus down this 1 Oracle. Nice focus fire there. Oh, he almost gets it. Will he get away?
Oh my god, he's actually messing up the micro. He might lose both. That's terrible for Classic.
Oh my god, Classic. He doesn't know.
And he knows that they're laughing at it. Oh my god, yeah, that
Zoun is laughing his bum off at that in the chat. ZZZ, that's KKKK on the Korean keyboard there. Both Oracles going down after the delayed Nexus. What a disaster here.
Yeah, that's not how you want to do it for Classic, unfortunately. He tried to get really cheeky with it and just really try to split them up to negate the focus fire and try to get them spread out and not focus down, but In the meanwhile, losing both of them is really just a disaster start for Classic. Despite that, though, he still was able to kill a few more probes with the double Oracle in the main before they died, so that means that their probe counts are actually equal after that. So, even though you don't want to lose those early early Oracles, you obviously feel pretty okay still getting some probe damage with the early Adepts as well as Classic. He's going to be trying to do Zoun, that is, going to be trying to do some early aggression with a proxy pylon from Classic as well.
There's a little game of hide-a-seek going on down there, Gemini, and that one probe for Zoun is just outside the range of the proxy of Classic. Okay, now he sees it. Oh, absolutely crucial scout here for Zoun. He will know what's happening. He's going to send his Stalkers to deal with that pylon. But at the same time, Classic is going to push the front here in the Warp Prism. Oh. If this gets picked off, it would be absolutely huge. Classic going so aggressive here, blinking forward, forces the recall. And actually, the army is completely split here for Zoun.
Oh, this is really awkward, but it's actually going to be kind of okay for Zoun because his army is just so large. Unfortunately, his force field's not able to do the most amount of work for the engagement. But Zoun is actually kind of fully committing here on 2 bases, not something you normally see. He's taking this as a read after killing the double Oracle, knowing his blink will be earlier and that he will have more Stalkers in total from the early game, that he will just be able to break Classic while he's trying to take a 3rd base and get blink of his own. Is that actually going to happen is the question here, because it's actually very difficult to get these types of attacks to work. It's very easy to defend with solid blink and battery defense on your own side.
Yeah, this shield battery here going to be saving a lot of units. Both of these guys frantically blinking back their weak Stalkers. I think it's looking pretty good for Zoun here. He's got a huge Stalker count. Focusing down that one. A load of Stalkers run into the natural, wasting their DPS there. I'm not sure if that was the best move. He will regroup here. Go to the 3rd base. Blinks in about half his Stalkers. Getting huge damage here on the Stalkers of Classic. They are falling. The probes are pulled. Zoun is looking like he's in complete control here in game number 2.
Yeah, this is looking great for Zoun. Unfortunately for Classic, he was even making an Observer out of that Robo instead of an Immortal. Not going to help him on the defense. Zoun fights back with a game in his second... what was I just trying to say? A game in the second game.
A game in the game.
A victory in the second game.
Gameception, guys. Games in the games. It is tied up here, 1-1. We have got a series on our hands, Jeremiah.
Oh, no. We are falling apart right now, guys. What is happening?
We got a series on our hands, Gemini. This is what we wanted to see.
Yeah, no, it would have been really rough if Classic just kind of came in and 4-0'd everybody. That would have been
a bit worried.
Quite brutal. Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, the cards were on the table for that. I mean, considering especially the way that this went in the upper bracket finals as well, like the 4-1 was very, very strong. So that's technically still possible from Classic, but to have Zoun fight back so early in the series is definitely a nice thing to see, considering the fact that this definitely could have been a very quick one from Classic.
Yeah, Classic 3-0 trigger, I believe, very early in the tournament. And then he 4-1 Zoun. So he's only dropped 1 map in 2 PvPs up until that map just now. He's doubled the amount of games he's lost. We're doing math here on stream. But yeah, I'm really glad to see this series is even as we go into game number 3, which I believe is going to be on Botanical, Gemini.
Nice, yes. A good map, one of our new ones as well. This one also, I believe, is a high ground natural, so that means we will potentially be seeing the 1 gate versus 1 gate again, similar to the first game. But yeah, I'm just happy that Zoun is able to actually fight back a little bit here so we can actually get some more action into this series, which is what we're going to be continuing on into for our game number 3 on Botanical.
Yeah, I'm really happy with seeing 2 bases come out for each Protoss here. We've had some games kind of in the playoff bracket, in the group stage, which were a lot of proxies. Let's just say it was a lot of 2-gate robo proxies. The games were ending very quick. I like that we're getting to see some kind of mid games here, a couple bases either side. Classic going for the 3rd base there. I think what Zoun did favors his playstyle more. I think you don't want to let Classic get to 3 or 4 bases because his macro and kind of late game is just so unbelievably good. I think it's going to be really tough for you to win at that stage in the game.
Yeah, I think Zoun also does... he still has some pretty decent mid-game and late-game himself in PvP. I think a lot of the things that make it difficult for some of these players at the high level against players like Classic or like MaxPax or some of these really good PvP players, is just navigating the early game and trying to come away with victories, like little tiny small victories here and there, because they snowball really easily in PvP. Like you just get like one little thing here, your Nexus is slightly faster, you cut a few units to get a slightly faster tech or whatever, and it does snowball very quickly for you. And so players like Classic, players like MaxPax, these really good PvP players, they're able to just kind of consistently come away with victories from the early game that just lets them just flourish as the game goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. We see cores going down for both players here. Both of them probably going to be looking to expand around. Zoun has saved up the money. Oh, Classic has actually not got the money right now. We've got a second pylon down as well, and the Zealot. That's quite interesting to see there, Gemini.
Yeah, he's going to try to block or kill off the block here because Classic has gone for the pylon block. So just making that early Zealot to make sure that he can actually kill off anything that's being put down there. So that way he can actually expand at a decent time. If he actually is able to find an opportunity, he can always cancel it while it's being produced and try to get the Nexus down before the block, but won't be able to happen for this one. So we'll just be trying to make sure he can keep that going. So Zealot finishes, Stalker to follow. Faster Stargate coming here for Classic as well. So that's going to be similar to the first game where they were able to get the slightly faster Stargate. And wow, we're still getting these pylon blocks. That's really annoying out of Classic.
Yeah, Classic's so good here at denying that expansion. Like I say, it's an interesting decision. Zoun got the faster Zealot, Classic getting the faster Stargate. We actually don't see a Stargate here at all for Zoun. He's making Stalkers. I think it's going to be maybe similar to last game where he's going to make a shield battery in his main.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's gone for the cyber block as well.
The cyber block
yeah, this
as well. He really wants to delay this.
Yeah, this used to happen a lot when the one gate expands first kind of came into fashion in PvP, but eventually a lot of the Protoss players kind of just thought that, no, it's not really worth it. It doesn't really actually delay as much as we want. It kind of cuts into our build a little bit too much, yada yada. So it's kind of fallen out of favor, but it looks like Zoun wants to go for it again, just realizing how much quicker he can get his Nexus if he goes for the full block. And he gets the full scout that there is going to be the fast Stargate as well, so he will know that that's coming. We'll see what his response is going to be, because of course he can't go Stargate at this point, because that's just going to be so late. So he's probably going to just go into a Twilight Council himself for Blink.
Yeah, I think that's really smart what he did there. He actually scouted the Stargate as it was at the front in the wall, and he says, okay, if you're making this Stargate, you didn't make a Stalker or a Sentry like me, you have less DPS, so this Cybercore is going to be killed even slower than if you did have those units. So if he did have the extra units instead of the Stargate, maybe it wouldn't work out. But right now it looks pretty good for Zoun. This Oracle flies in, sees two Stalkers, and decides, nope, I want nothing to do with that. Don't forget, last game, Classic lost both his Oracles, getting very minimal damage. It was a bit of a nightmare. So if he can preserve these this time around or even get some kills, he's going to be in a much better spot.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good for him, of course, if he can get that. And there's only 2 sentries in the main base. That's not really going to defend his mineral line too well. The Stalkers were out trying to deal with an Adept, and he's able to get 5 kills while keeping both of them alive this time. A much better start for Classic with those double Oracles. Much more on point for him. It's very rare that you see him make those mistakes like that last game. So it's good to see that he's able to recover here in this next game. And it's also actually kind of interesting to note as well is that Zoun has gone for a very fast double gateway after the expand and didn't really try to go for that very fast Twilight Council. So it's actually kind of unfortunate for him. He's not going to have Blink even close to Classic, who's even gone Oracle first and then is going into Blink, and is going to have it so much faster. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is a bit wild here. He went for the Stargate and still ends up with the Blink faster. Like, that's not really supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
And he lost a ton of probes here. He's down
Still
4 workers right now. These Oracles worth their weight in gold right now, getting so much harass. Will die eventually, but they did their job.
Yeah.
They completely slowed down the economy of Zoun. Classic now ahead in the work account. The Blink going to be considerably faster for Classic. He's out on his gateways. The units lost tab is pretty insane right now. And yeah, Classic just in a pretty dominant position, I would say, going into the mid game. Robo goes down a little bit quicker here for Zoun. Will have access to his Robo units just that little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious what he's going to be going for with that, because well, I guess maybe he's... There is something you can do as in this scenario as Classic, where you just go for a fairly fast Dark Shrine. You go for you go to the double Oracle, and then you go into the fast Twilight, and then you're just going to go into DTs. And it's like, if you just don't have a Robo, you die. So maybe Zoun might be a little bit afraid of that coming in here, because otherwise... after losing so many probes and having such a late blink himself, it feels like he would want to kind of double down on the Stalkers themselves to make sure he just has a large army. Going into a Robo still is going to be making it so that way, like, his resources are getting kind of split, kind of thin, I feel like, but just wants to round everything out anyways, just try to see if he can get his Robo going, get an Observer out to be as safe as possible, even though he's been down quite a lot of probes.
Yeah, Classic even able to pick off the probe that was trying to make the 3rd base for Zoun with his Oracle, so that's delayed it significantly. Classic basically has everything faster except the Robo right now, but I think he will be very happy with the position he's in. We're going into a 3-base macro game here. Both of these guys going to be getting out their Gateway units, getting out their Immortals, that kind of stuff. The upgrade coming out, +1 attack for Classic, nice and quick. Charge on the other side for Zoun with a slightly later forge here.
Yeah, I'm so surprised that Zoun is still trying to get so many different things out while being so behind economically. Going for the fast charge, going for the Robo, going for a forge. Classic has just been getting so many units out of his gateways, and he's going to be able to go for some sort of pressure. He's even getting a 4th base during all this, realizing what Zoun is going for, and it's just going to say, yeah, sure, you can do that. I'm just going to sit back and continue to grow. I'm going to get so many probes, so much economy going that you can't possibly threaten me. I like how he's using this as well, trying to use the high ground with that Stasis Ward. Thankfully for Zoun, he did have that vision with the Observer nearby, so it doesn't fall into that trap. But now he's going to see that 4th base coming, and he's going to be like, God, what? The balls on this guy. Like, how is he actually doing this? Like, he's just going to try to hit that 4th base right in my face? It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a really good way to do it, though. Like, push and expand behind it, right? That your opponent can't punish it. It's going to get up, probably. I think Zoun will have a potential time in here once charge finishes. He's adding in more gates right now, adding in 4. Classic adding 6 gates after his 4th base, as well as his own charge. So his production is going to be equally as insane. Both these guys are going to be getting out pretty big armies. And I really like the stasis traps here. Classic is kind of layering throughout the maps. It's kind of like little minefields, right? You got to be so careful you don't get a bunch of Stalkers caught on one of those, because then Classic can just jump on you and pick a load of stuff off, right?
Yeah, it's even worse if you blink into it, because then the cooldown doesn't actually reset, so then you're just stuck without blink by the time that you actually get out of it. So yeah, having as many Stasis Wards on the map as possible, as Classic being the Oracle opener, is definitely one of the benefits you get if you go for this Oracle style. So generally that's why a lot of pros like to go for that. And it will allow him to really control this map going into the later stages of the game. And it looks like Zoun also is just kind of sitting around and just being like, okay, well, if you're going to expand, then I'm just going to go expand too. Like, he's not going to try and push the issue knowing that he's probably just going to meet a giant brick wall if he tries to go across. He's going to try to just basically prolong this as long as possible. Just maybe let Classic let him back in the game, essentially. Like, if it goes long enough, Zoun will eventually max out as well and will actually get some sort of leverage in this game. But now Classic has got his 4-base setup, and I think he's not going to try to let that happen.
Yeah, Classic suddenly 30 supply ahead. Like, when did that happen? It was just small advantages here and there, but he's completely snowballed it into something very tangible here as we see the army. He did get those High Templar, morph them into an Archon. Taking out the rocks right now. Classic going to take a few free shots there from the Stalkers of Zoun, but he will still open this avenue of attack if he wants to use that. There is the speed zone there as well. Nice little harassment on the 5th base of Classic by Zoun. These are the kind of little moves he needs to make to get back into this game, I feel like. If you just take straight on fights, Classic just has way more right now. You need something. This army of Classic is just huge.
Yeah, no, this is going to be just absolutely ridiculous for Zoun to defend. He's on pure Blink Stalker against this incredible army from Classic, just going in to this attempted 4th base. Nice force fields from Zoun to try and keep these charge lots away from his Stalkers, but now we're going to be able to get a nice blink forward to depower all of the shield batteries for Zoun. And we all are going to get a nice warp in for Classic as well, but to be honest, Zoun's kind of defending this pretty decently so far. His army supply is not actually dwindling. His micro on the Stalkers has been excellent, and those force fields earlier to deny the charge lots have been great, so that's going to allow him to blink forward, try to get the Prism to deny any more warp ins, and he will get it. A very clutch move from him as he kills this army despite losing the 4th base.
Yeah, he gets a cleanup here, but at what cost? Classic's on 5 bases right now. If he has enough time to remake that army, there's no way Zoun can keep up in production. He's got to make something happen right now. We do see those Zealots come back home before they are dead. You know, he did send them in to harass the 5th base. Classic, gonna have to be on the defense for a little bit. He's adding in Immortals here. 9 Zealots warping in at a time. He's getting one more attack upgrade. That'll pay off dividends if he can get it out in time. Zoun remaking his 4th base. No plans or sign of a 5th base at the moment. And Classic's making 5 probes at a time here, Gemini.
Yeah, no, this is looking still really good for Classic. Like, yeah, the defense is actually really good from Zoun, and I honestly did not expect that. I thought he was just going to flat out die. Like, the army that Classic had at that point was so good against what Zoun had, but he really just managed the fight so well on that ramp, just constantly keeping his stalkers away from the brunt of the army. But like I said, that allowed him to just kill the 4th base. So that's just basically putting Classic in a pretty much unlosable spot if this continues to go much longer. The army is still going to be quite sizable for Zoun, and he's going to still try to make some moves happen, but Classic is always going to have the upper hand in some of these engagements because his economy is just going to be so good. There's no way to deny the reinforcements this time from Zoun, as it is on Classic's turf, and you can just see the Zealots really just starting to engulf this army from Zoun as he's getting completely overrun. Classic with a 2nd game.
Yeah, Zoun realizing he's just too far behind at that point, says, if I don't make it happen now, it's never going to happen. Goes for the Hail Mary attack. Classic sits back with all his units, his static defense, the Immortals rallying in, which Zoun did not have. Great defense by him at the 4th base, but unfortunately not enough to keep him in the game for too long.
Nope, not at all. A bit unfortunate for Zoun, of course, considering that early game just really spiraled out of control for him. And honestly, a nice effort to try and bring it back in that game regardless, considering how much damage he took earlier on. But I feel like that was just such an uphill struggle for him from that early game. Unfortunately, just really didn't work out the way he was honestly expecting it.
Yeah, game 2, the Oracles died for nothing. This time they got like 10 probes total or something insane. Completely changes the way the game looks from there on out. Classic able to get his macro up, get 5 bases. Like I was saying, I think that's where he shines once you get to that high base count. He's so strong in these macro games. But yeah, good effort by Zoun. We'll have to see if he can rally back here in the next game.
Yep, for sure. But I would love to also see all of you guys wearing some nice RSL merch. So go ahead, check it out. If you are a Patreon supporter, you also get a 20% discount on all the Tasteless TV merch over at tastelessthreads.com. Lots of wonderful stuff over there, not just RSL stuff, some cool video game related stuff. You can get Tasteless's face looking really funny as well on a shirt. It's got
you can get the ugliest picture of Tasteless on a shirt ever.
Or on a mug as well if you want. The
or
mug
on a
is
mug.
also
However
good.
you want to show that off, if you want that with your morning coffee. If you want to see Tasteless's face looking like that with your morning coffee, that's on you, dude, but the option is there, all
You know
right?
what would be cool if you could have it where like it's one of the ones where the picture is on the bottom of the mug, so as you drink it, you slowly start to see more of Tasteless's face as you finish your
Or if
drink.
it's on the bottom of the mug, and then when you drink it, you show it to everyone else.
That would be also good,
Everyone
yes.
else has to look at it.
Regardless, it would be great if you guys could pick some of that up. But anyways, we're going to be going to a short little break before we continue the rest of this grand finals. Don't go anywhere.
Go inside. Go inside. No! 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 Ah! Oh! Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, God! Ah! Oh, my God. Oh! Oh!
What's up, everybody? We are back, and we are ready to go into our next game. Game number 4 here right now. Classic up 2-1.
Absolutely, yeah. Classic able to take that last game. One interesting thing in the post-game chat that we saw from Zoun, he said he saw the 4th base of Classic, and he thought it was the 3rd base.
Yeah.
So he actually thought he was ahead the whole game and winning, and maybe that's why he played a bit passively, didn't get his 5th as quickly. But that was not the case.
No. It's actually maybe one of the most painful ways to lose.
All right.
Hidden base, I guess, is the same thing. But when you think the game is in a state that it's literally not in.
Right, you check the replay and you're like, oh, he had 3 more bases.
Usually if I see that, I leave the replay. I'm not even going to look at the rest of this game because nothing else matters. But I guess we don't really talk about it that much. But one of the most important things, and I guess anybody who plays can do this, but you need to know how many bases they have. You need to have an exact count, okay?
Yeah.
And in some matchups, you're going to be always 1 base ahead. You're supposed to be if you're even one base ahead. I guess obviously you always want to be ahead in bases in a game like StarCraft. But yeah, if you have a misread on that, especially in a mirror matchup where you're basically working with the exact same tools, you're going to have a bad read on the game. So Zoun cannot afford to let that happen again.
Absolutely not. Map number 4 here is going to be the Patreon voted map, guys, is Evil Heart. This is the map that kind of leans towards the most aggressive builds that we see out of players. It's very short. There's not that many bases. So you don't tend to get the super long games. We often see a ton of aggressive strategies here. I'm thinking if you're going to pull out a proxy or something wild, this is the game to do it.
All right, guys, we're in game number 4 here. Zoun in the top right, Classic in the bottom left. I am glad, by the way, that Zoun has put up a fight so far and actually won a game. I was a little bit afraid this might be like total domination from Classic, and maybe the rest of it will be. We'll see in a little bit here. But yeah, Zoun's definitely put up a good fight. Yeah,
for sure. I think even the games he's lost, he didn't look like completely outclassed or anything like that. He's keeping up. He's making the games competitive. We'll have to see what comes out here. I think in that last game, like, he thought Classic was on a different base count than he was. That can really trip you up. Maybe he expected him to take, like, the other third base first, something like that. But yeah, game number 3 right now, we just have the gateways going on. Very mirrored builds here as we look at the production tab. Everything exactly equal.
Yeah, the first probe is going to come across the map here and be basically interfere with the ability for Classic to put that Nexus down here. Now, we had some maps earlier on where the initial infrastructure was put over at the natural expansion because there was a ramp from low ground to high ground that led to that. This map doesn't incentivize that kind of play, so we see both players making their structures inside of their base. Was it two gateways there?
Yeah, both players going for 2 gates.
Yes, excuse me.
And one nice thing for Classic here is he didn't probe scout. Well, it might not sound nice, but if you're going to be aggressive, going for a 2-gate build, maybe you can skip that, and that's one way you can get ahead against someone who's doing the same build as you, right?
Right.
If you cut that little corner, it might help you out a bit.
Yeah. And so, a game with this kind of setup can go in any possible direction right now. We need to wait and see when the cybernetics cores finish what the tech is going to be. So both sides start 2 stalkers. You don't want to show that tech just yet because the scouting probe is inside of the base. And
yeah, he's actually going to trap him in here with the shield battery. I like that.
Oh, this is cool, yeah.
Yeah, so when the stalkers come out, they're guaranteed to get a probe kill. And this probe lost a ton of mining time as well, running around the base, checking what Classic is up to. So this is a nice little...
I'm kind of surprised we don't see this more often.
Yeah, it's a nice little move. Like, sometimes we see it, right? But if you know you've got units coming out and the probe's in your base, like, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we have the Stargate started over here for Zoun. He basically started his definitive tech first. We have 2 sentries and a Nexus being made for Classic. So this is not going to be a sharp tech like we would see here from Zoun, like okay, I'm going to get the Twilight Council or the Stargate or a Robo. Instead, he's just going to get some sentries, which are more like, it's kind of like a utility unit, really, and then go for the Nexus, and then we're going to see what the tech is going to be.
Yeah, this is basically a reversal of the last game. Last game we saw Classic being the Stargate player, Zoun being the one getting the slightly quicker Nexus, getting the shield battery, trying to split his units and defend the Oracle harass. Wasn't able to defend it too successfully. We'll have to see how well Classic can do. He may go for 2 Oracles and then dive. I think that's the safe thing to do, because if you dive with 1 against the shield battery, you often can't out-DPS the healing from the shield battery, right?
Right. Okay, Stalkers are going to come forward here. They're going to be hitting the battery. 1 hallucinated Phoenix, that's not going to help.
It could tank a few shots, you never know.
Of all the possible outcomes, that wasn't the one I thought we were going to see. And a force field that basically just nudges the Stalkers to the side here. So not a great usage of mana there. I don't know that that's going to play a major role here. By the way, behind this, we have the Robo coming here for Classic, and then we have the Twilight Council. So very, very different tech trees being developed here. The Oracle comes in, starts at some of these probes, and the Stalkers will chase it out.
Oh, yeah, the shield battery was actually made of the natural, not in the main. So even with 1 Oracle, able to get some good damage there. Very nice pick-off for Zoun. 3 probes doesn't seem like a lot, but at this stage in the game, that's 10% of your economy, right? Like, it really does matter here. And once he brings over another one. Oh, hang on a minute. These Adepts trying to shade in the main. Oh, denied by the pylon. Just in the nick of time.
Yeah, beautifully done. Blink is going to start for Zoun. Although I think Blink's not going to be that far away here for Classic, as Twilight Council is halfway done as a Warp Prism starts here as well. Now, a lot of times when you see a Warp Prism made, it's a nod to a push, but it can also just be used to harass here. So it's not clear exactly what kind of game we're in just yet, although we don't have a third Nexus laid down here on either side.
Yeah, both of these players going to get their Blink first, get out some units, make sure they're safe. Like you said, with the Warp Prism, he may decide to be aggressive here. We'll have to see. There is a third pylon going down at the third base. Normally, Protoss players put that down as they're going to take the base, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that. You can always do a little mind game with it, mix it up. We'll have to see where that Warp Prism is headed. Right now, all the forces of Zoun are at home, and he takes his third Nexus slightly before Classic here.
Okay, so the Observer here is spotting, and I think this might be a forced deny.
Yeah, this is actually...
Why does he have a probe with this?
I don't know. In case he wants to make something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just for the ride. But here we go. This is a big army warping in with that Warp Prism aggressively. And the Oracle is nowhere to be seen in the main base. So like you say, this might just be a cancel on the third base here.
Yeah, I think this was a little bit too ambitious here for Zoun. I mean, there's no way this is going to be saved, so he does cancel it. The Oracle sees that the third base is started for Classic, so this is going to require something from Zoun. I would be very shocked if he just takes his third base again and sits back and does a very complacent play here, because I think he needs to do something pretty drastic.
Yeah, he did pick off another 3 probes, which is nice. Maybe he says, okay, you made me cancel the Nexus. I've gotten 6 workers this game, so I should be ahead in the worker count. I'll take my base a little bit later. I'll get my forge, get the upgrades going. And it looks like we're going into another macro game here as both players get their thirds, add on more production, add their forges for the upgrades. I really like the stasis wards. If you can get a bunch of those around the map, you can often catch a ton of units with them, jump on that and punish the opponent. Yeah, right now both players just powering up here.
Yeah, the Observer is just, I mean, at this point in time, Classic is in a very simplified game, if that makes sense. Like, he's just got a lead. He can keep growing. There's many ways he could close this game out. Zoun is in peril, you know. Sometimes you can think of a game almost like it's a race, you know, and eventually one player is getting, you know, so far ahead, they're going to start to lap him. We're not there yet, but, I mean, just having a late third base and means everything else for Zoun is going to come a little bit later, too, right? This could be a game where Classic is simply going to ramp up in economy and get more of everything that he needs and possibly attack and just win.
I love this little 2 adept hit squad here coming in to see if they can get any probes. Okay, the Blink goes down. He just ferries them into the main. He'd love to get a worker or 2. Actually forcing a recall as well out of Classic.
You know, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
like recall is kind of like a resource of its own, right?
Right. If you don't have that and you need it at some point, it can have a really big effect.
Yeah. I mean, that could definitely cause a problem. So nice little move there. You know, whenever you have 2 adepts, you need to make sure that they are in sync when they attack.
Yeah.
Or they don't do anything. Same thing with oracles and other units. If you're going to be one-shotting probes. So in this game, Classic is winding up for a big adept attack. He wants to probably slam into the third base in a little bit here. We're getting adept glaives. It's about a third of the way done, and it's probably going to be all adepts from here on out.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of adepts, make use of that upgrade. He does have the Robo online way before Zoun, so you might be able to get a few Immortals in there to take care of the Stalkers, have the adepts shred the Zealots, hopefully. Zoun actually trying to take this base over here, a little bit of a weird thing, does somehow see the Warp Prism leave. But yeah, both players now going into the... He's got to save this Warp Prism. Oh, it actually goes down in the middle of the map there. Huge pickoff for Zoun. Very nice.
Little victories for Zoun here. Definitely an important moment to kind of deny that momentum. The push is coming up here. I mean, you want to have that Warp Prism to reinforce, and it's possible that because Zoun got that Warp Prism, he's going to be able to hold this push. I think the Nexus is going to be, he beat me to it, is going to be canceled here. But I don't think Classic's going to push further than that. But again, it's kind of like what we already saw earlier in this game. Like, he denied the third base and took his own third. He's now going to deny the fourth base and then take his own fourth. So Classic, again, just getting all the building blocks out here a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, Classic playing aggressive and expanding behind it can be really good. You know, he can confuse his opponent. His opponent thinks, oh, is he all in me with glaives right now? Has he got a fourth base? I don't know. He does have these units down here to see it eventually, so now he will have clocked onto that. Both players going for another attack upgrade as well. Archon's being added into the mix for Zoun. Classic going for charge here, going to add in more zealots as the game goes on. You can't stay on the depths forever, I feel like. You need to round out your composition a little bit, you know?
Sure, right. Well, this is getting into late game here. You know, nobody seems to want to attack into each other. We should mention on this map, Evil Heart, there's actually not a lot of bases.
Right.
Which I like. This was introduced in a couple of the StarCraft I maps, this concept, a couple of years ago. And it's a nice change, actually. It kind of drives the game to a conclusion a little bit quicker, which is neither good or bad. It's just different. And I always think variety is good. I think that's why RTS is so great, is there's such a variety of types of games you can have here. So, you know, just keep in mind there's, you know, an even number of bases. There's no shared location on the map. There's no, like, as an example, like a base in the middle that you could fight over. But yeah, we could go to a game where every single base is taken here on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the Classic still trying these little moves with the Adepts. If you can trade out 2 Adepts for 5 Workers or something crazy like that, it can be a nice way to get ahead. We do see 6 batteries out here for Zoun. I feel like he's playing super defensive after seeing the Glaives upgrade. But Classic has completely transitioned now into what you consider a more typical kind of mid-late game army here. Both players almost reach, they're actually going to pass each other like ships in the night, in the dark. Oh my god, both players don't see each other. Will he go home or will he just keep going here?
Yeah, is this going to be kind of a base race here?
This game might get wild very quickly.
Their armies both stopped moving at the same time
Right.
and then they started back up. Now, Classic has to make a decision very quickly here, and Zoun should know. Okay, well, he's going to know now for sure, but the attack's going to come in here, and both of the players are basically branching their armies off into the same locations. Zoun evacuates the probes, so does Classic. This is getting insane.
These guys have done this before. They say, okay, if it's a base race, I need buildings out on the map or I'm going to be eliminated. The probes of Classic are actually found here, but some of them will regroup with the army and be saved by these Stalkers. A lot of the tech going down right now. Stalkers in the main. The economy getting absolutely gutted on both sides. Both of them below 30 workers right now. This game is getting wild very fast.
Yeah, this is getting insane. You know, nobody's recalled just yet. The main infrastructure is going to fall apart here for Zoun. How many probes are actually here? I see 25 for Zoun on the tick. Actually, now 23 versus 23. And Classic's going to expand into the third base location of where Zoun was. Remember, in games like these, that we almost never get to these points, but the losing condition is if you lose all of your buildings, right?
Right.
It's just like a chess game. A lot of times you see checkmate coming, so you leave, right? Same thing in StarCraft. You realize, okay, well, the loss of all of my buildings is an inevitability because we lost all the fights. But this could be a game where we literally have to watch the last building go down. Both players have a new outpost here. It's 12 probes for Zoun. It's 23 for Classic. Somehow, I can't even believe I'm saying this, they're literally at the exact same army supply.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
double
ABC, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, am I reading that right?
Yeah,
exactly the same here. But
so now let's look at composition. So that's 5 Immortals, but actually very different comps. 32 Zealots, 7 Archons, and 13 Stalkers for Classic. A very Immortal heavy, some Adepts, a lot of Stalkers actually here for Classic. So I'm not sure. I do feel like, okay, hold up. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to have the attack coming here right now. Zoun going to be hitting from 2 sides. There's a lot of Archons here to chew up these Zealots.
Yeah, tons of Archons coming in here, doing huge splash damage for Zoun. I think his army might actually be pushing through here. The shield battery's helping a ton. Classic has to pull the probes. He does have more, and he actually has a bigger army now as well. Suddenly that fight swang round, blinking forward with the Stalkers, targeting down these high priority units. I think Classic may have just done it, Tasteless. It's not going to come down to the base race. They take a fight, and Classic comes out on top.
That was insane. I don't know. I don't know if he should have. Well, I mean, obviously he should not have attacked there. He lost, but I wonder why he had tried to attack in that moment because there were shield batteries there.
Right. It's so hard to attack into the base and the Sim City and the healing of the shield batteries. Obviously, he doesn't see what we see. He doesn't know that Classic has way more workers.
Yeah.
But maybe he decided his army was better. He actually said in the chat now, every day it's an base race like this, right? Yeah. It was kind of funny between the two players, but what a wild game. And then Zoun just sent it at the end.
It was kind of beautiful how they each made the exact same decisions. I mean, it's such a unique situation, right? You're in endgame PvP. You both realize your armies somehow passed each other. Like you were saying, like ships in the night. And they both had the exact correct response to it, right? With 2 very different unit comps, right? They branched the armies, one kind of going through the natural into the main, the other one going down to the third, and then going to hit anything that's in that direction. And they both took their probes at the fourth base and evacuated it.
And it was so quick as well. It was like as soon as they saw the armies, okay, instantly drag a bunch of probes, send them across the map, start making nexus here and there. I feel like those guys have played that kind of game potentially like tens or hundreds of times.
It felt like they really, really knew like exactly what to do. A perfect play, honestly. Yeah, I guess, he thought with the zealots that he had, he could get enough surface area to kind of surround, because it's one of those fights where like a lot of times you see just like a really good angle, like it's like they're getting surrounded. Okay, well then usually you win that, but apparently not there. I think the Immortals really helped in the end. The Immortals are just really, really tanky units. It's kind of hard to kill them off.
So much single fire target damage against the Archons. That kind of thing.
And the Stalkers. I mean, they're just. Yeah. In my head, they're always like an anti-Stalker unit, even though they were made so that Protoss could fight mech in a certain way.
Yeah.
Guys, consider signing up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/Revive SC2. We want to make regular episodic StarCraft II seasonal tournament content out here. I know that we have a couple tournaments that, take place over a weekend or something like that. But we really wanted to have something that we could do with some regularity. And because of your support, we were able to build out this studio over here in Seoul. And we're even going to have a live event, an offline event in Seoul in December. We haven't announced the dates yet. We're still booking the venue. So look, if you can contribute a lot, that's amazing. If you contribute a little, that's amazing. If you're not in a financial position to support us, we totally get it. You can still join the Patreon. And you'll be notified of updates and other stuff like that. We're also we got a little podcast center kind of set up behind where this camera is.
We recorded one yesterday. It was like 2 hours long, a ton of content. It was great. Lots of discussion on the new patch and stuff like that.
There's a new patch coming.
There's a new patch, guys, and
it's crazy.
We talked about it.
yes, and that's exciting because it shows that Blizzard's maintaining the game, which means that's always a good thing, because as long as you have fans of the game, players that will play the game, and then the publisher has some kind of support inside the game,
as long as Tasteless is here casting it, StarCraft will never die, guys. It's not going anywhere.
We don't want it to go away. I want to do this for as long as we can, and so far, because of you guys, we can do it. It's been amazing. We're not going to break, right? We're going to go into this next game. We're going to break? We'll be right back.
This. Oh my God, he's hiding and waiting in there? He waits in the room? Oh my God.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're back, and it's time to go into this finals. Classic is looking pretty unstoppable, man.
Yeah, no, it's been really rough for Zoun so far in this series. I mean, he had that one game where, to be honest, was honestly a bit of a classic fault than a Zoun win. I mean, those two Oracles just suiciding for very little, and then he just gets a nice counterattack. So, yeah, Zoun is really kind of grasping at straws, I feel like, to get any sort of advantage in this series, and so far it hasn't really gone his way.
We're going to go to Tokamak here for map number 5. Stop laughing, John.
Everyone's favorite map.
Too serious stuff. It's going to be really important here. John has to basically win 3 games in a row or he's out. And Classic will be the two-time back-to-back RSL Season 2 champion. Literally, he will be, guys.
Yes. We didn't lie to you right then.
I wouldn't lie. I can't lie.
It's impossible for Tasteless to lie.
Yeah, it's like that Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, but sure.
Moving on. We're going to go into game number 5 here. It has loaded up. Classic versus Zoun. Can Zoun come back, or is Classic going to close this one out?
All right, Classic's going to be on the bottom left-hand side here of Tokamak with Zoun over on the top right. Like you said, every single map needs to go in Zoun's favor at this point. A Herculean task, basically, as our good old friend State would say, I think. It's going to be quite difficult to find his way through the rest of this series. I'm actually surprised at the lack of proxies happening so far in the series, I would say. I kind of expected at least a couple of the games to have some early one-base shenanigans happening, but nothing really too crazy just yet from either of the players, just wanting to keep it more stable.
Yeah. You know, Classic just seems to be so well-versed in everything PvP. Like, it's crazy how well he's played so far. And, like, even in that last game, like, I don't think Zoun, other than, I guess, just getting bases up later, played poorly. Like, he basically carried the game to late game. It was just sort of a weird base trade where, you know.
One person has to be wrong in their base trade analysis.
I don't know if, like, you know, you don't really play games based off just having base trades.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to play this game with the assumption I'm going to base trade.
I'm going to build all this stuff and assume that we're going to attack past each other and run out of buildings. But yeah, he just seemed to kind of have a worser comp in the end there. Because they did tech very differently.
Yeah.
I mean, one guy having, I think, like 7 Immortals or something like that, and the other guy just kind of mass Zealot Archon.
Ooh.
Okay, we've got a pylon in the middle of the map.
There it is.
So the closer the pylon is, when it's made like this on the map, the more likely it is a rush. The further away it is, the more likely it is you're just trying to hide attack.
Yeah, this is looking like a proxy robo position, if I'm going to be honest. It could technically still just be a gateway. I mean, it's not the most insane thing, but it's for pro players, I think it's a little bit more difficult to pull that off at like a proxy 4-gate or something, but I would not be surprised. And yes, there is the Robo Bay going down for Classic. We'll be able to try and go for some fast Immortals or going for a War Prism straight off and then going into just a bunch of Stalkers afterwards as well. Both are possible. We'll see if Zoun is going to be able to detect it early enough or even just be able to defend it without seeing it at all. That's always still possible, but you definitely do want to get the scout off, at least something to tip you off that there might be some early aggression.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to run up into the main here. And he is going to plug that up with a pylon.
He's gonna try to get the adepts in. He hit
that
probe.
I didn't get what I was
He
even looking.
hit the probe long enough to get away from the double stalker, and now he's got his pylon here. He can just cancel it, get on in. There's no way that Zoun could prevent this from happening.
Oh, this is so sick. Oh, I can't believe this. I've got chills right now.
That is going to be so much worker damage, and he's proxying with a prism as well. So he's just going to be able to double down on this, even getting one of the adepts out amazingly.
That is, oh my god, he doesn't see it. Oh, he just doesn't see it.
Oh no.
This might be a super fast, brutal takedown. Immortal coming up next. Stalkers on the move. Hold on. Where are they going to?
Oh
now,
no.
Will they see this? They have a little bit more vision.
No.
You're kidding me! Oh my god!
That is just so brutal for Zoun. He's going to come across and see there's no nexus, so that's going to immediately ring the alarm bells. He's going to have to know that something's going on. Nice force field to trap one of the Stalkers as well. You don't even really want to recall that as Zoun. That feels like such a waste. So now he just loses the Stalker, and the Prism is going to be going to his main base as well. How much does he have back at home to defend? I don't really know. It doesn't even feel like he fully is respecting the fact that there could be a Prism in his base right now.
Yeah, it's here right now. And Immortal is going to do very well against a small number of Stalkers and Sentries. He unpowers the 2 gateways. The Stalkers are having to run all the way back home. The War Prism Micro has been fantastic.
That's all of the production. There's nothing that Zoun can do. He's got a gateway that's 75% done. He's got a pylon that only just started. Zoun cannot make any units right now.
Okay, the Stalkers are going to come in here. We have to have good control here from Classic, and he decides to just ditch the Adept. He wants to regroup. He's got more Stalkers. He did not take a moment to warp in there, I think because he was too concerned that he wouldn't be able to juggle it safely. The War Prism might get sniped.
The pylon that he made isn't even close enough. He has to make another one to get the other one.
You mean he misplaced it?
Yeah, there's only 1 gateway powered right now, so he can't even get 2 rounds of units at a time.
Oh my god. It's so bad.
Everything is going poorly.
So bad.
And now he's stuck outside his base. He's unprepared for this position
Sounds
from
looking
Classic.
like a burglar in Home Alone right now. All the traps are working. He's going to come in now. I think this is going to be GG.
look at the army. It's just insane. How does Zoun possibly defend against this? He's sending everything he has across the map to try and do another base race, knowing there's literally nothing. He's laughing in the camera right now as he's force fielded out of Classic's base with 1 million immortals in his own, destroying everything.
Excuse me. I mean, this is going to be it. This is game. 24 probes are down. The counterattack, he wants to get in here, but the force field isn't going to let that happen. Meanwhile, everything is getting completely destroyed back at home.
He's trying to save money, I think, to make a Nexus. Is that what he's doing with that probe down there? I'm not quite sure. He will find one Immortal's rallied over, so that's actually quite nice. We'll be able to pick that off. That is something.
Oh my God.
But he just can't get up this base because the force field is just constantly splitting up this army perfectly. Classic, paying close enough attention, will be able to deny this. Eventually, Zoun should find his way back, as there isn't a recall currently available for Classic, I believe. It might have just come off cooldown, but now that Zoun is in, he will be able to kill off some of these Stalkers, but it doesn't even matter because now the recall is ready. We can bring everything back, and Zoun is dancing his Stalkers, knowing he is lost this finals.
The Immortals are dancing too. Everybody's dancing. GG Classic takes the RSL Season 2 championship again. The back-to-back! Crazy, man. Congratulations to Classic. He's pointing over there. What are you pointing at, Classic? Season 2 champion. Congratulations.
He looks like such a Giga Chad in this picture.
He's such
as well,
a Giga
dude.
Chad.
Look at that
Look at
jaw.
those perfect lips.
Yeah, look, he's just mewing
Nice
on everybody,
nose.
man.
Look at that amazing gamer finger. That's his mouse hand, by the way.
That's his mouth. Isn't that this be his keyboard hand? If you're
Moving on. Moving on. Classic has done it. Unbelievable. Is he going to win all of the RSLs?
that would be insane if he just does.
How are we going to
every
do this
single one in a
offline
row.
event? Told you, it's just going to be him playing
Yeah.
the campaign on Brutal.
He has to play co-op with himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got two different computers playing at the same time.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Congratulations to Classic. He had an amazing run. Zoun, I think he put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, he's just so good at this matchup.
It's insane. The consistency he has is just absolutely ridiculous.
He might just be the best PvP in the world right now.
I mean, he just 3-0'd Classic earlier in the tournament
it's
as well.
funny because we don't talk about this as much. I don't know why, but who's the best at mirror matchups? But like in a period, like in this iteration of the patch, where Protoss seems pretty strong, that's probably the most important matchup to be good at.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're going to be getting a lot of those PvPs in some of these tournaments. And I mean, Classic has shown that he is absolutely a master of that matchup for sure, as he finalizes his run in this RSL season number 2, going all the way from the upper bracket, just destroying everybody left and right. 3-0 Classic, 3-0 Maru, 4-1 Zoun, and 4-1 Zoun again. He lost 2 maps in this entire playoffs.
It's been a crazy run. And by the way, what has been a fantastic tournament, this last week of games has been crazy.
Yeah. Like the lower bracket matches specifically were really next level. Like just some unbelievable games. In fact, the fact that we had 2 reverse sweeps yesterday with the Raynor Cure series and then the Zoun Cure series as well was incredible to watch. So yeah, just really honestly some great games. If you guys haven't checked any of these out, go ahead, watch the VODs. There's just so much awesome stuff to catch.
Yeah, and we keep our VODs spoiler free. By the way, shout out to Twitch, putting us on the front page earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Really appreciate it.
We love that.
I was watching a couple mutants in our chat arguing about why the numbers are so high. I'm just sitting on a laptop, like, shaking my head. Absolute muties, man.
What is a front page?
What's going on?
What is it? Front page?
Front page of
like,
what? Front page of Twitch.
What, like my
you
mom
idiot?
putting something on the refrigerator? Like what?
So thank you, Twitch. We really appreciate that. They really hooked us up. Also, thank you to Archon Studio. They are making the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game. They reached out to us when we announced the RSL and wanted to support us. And I think everybody who's watching this tournament should support them. The StarCraft tabletop miniatures game, it's not on pre-sale yet, but it will be, I guess, sometime in Q4, sometime later, probably around the holiday season. Mm-hmm. And all of their products are amazing. Like, I wasn't really familiar with these guys, and they reached out and went on the website. They've got all sorts of great stuff for other titles as well. I would highly recommend you check it out. If you love StarCraft, this is kind of the coolest thing you could get,
Yeah, I do know.
Did I kind of nail it there? I guess I can do even more than just cast the games, huh? I guess I'm pretty good at these plugs,
I'm
huh?
pretty able, actually, to talk, yes.
Guys, you want to join the Patreon.
Oh, yes.
Patreon.com/Revive SC2.
Join the RSL Army!
Join I pledge my $5 a month to Tasteless and the RSL Army.
I will take a bullet for everyone in the studio.
Every month, $5 will come out of my bank account and go to the Patreon for the cause. You want to get on there. And if you don't have money, you can at least join the account. We can keep you updated. Because we're going to have, I guess, an off season here for us. Come back strong here with RSL Season 3. We're also going to be having the offline event.
Yes.
And I already told them I want a bowl of only brown M&Ms at this event. And if I find one green M&M in my bowl, Gemini, I don't know what I'll do. So we're going to be announcing the live event later on this year. It's oh my God. That's not true. Zoun didn't win Season 2.
Well, because Classic already won, he can't go twice, like we were making jokes about.
It's a good thing you know what these graphics mean, because I'm just here saying stupid stuff.
How many, the brown M&Ms, that's what you want, right?
I need a brown M&Ms.
Yeah, okay. That's the important thing, not this graphic.
No, I only know what color M&Ms I want at the offline event. So here are two handsome pro gamers that have already qualified for the offline finals. And we're going to see who's going to win Season 3. Remember, Season 3 is going to be in a different iteration of the patch.
Yeah, potentially. We don't really know exactly when the patch is going to be thrown out. Blizzard kind of just does that willy-nilly, so it maybe it will be, maybe it won't. Actually, maybe it'll be half-half, and that'll be fun to figure out. It's in the
public test realm right now, so they might have stuff they change. I know people are tinkering with it here.
Oh my God, what's that?
Could it be
the Season 3 schedule?
What? Guys, get out your phone. Go to the calendar on the wall. Go to the calendar on the wall now. The one in the kitchen. And start to write RSL on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to be back. And we're going to be finishing this up in time for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
when is Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Isn't it literally, it's the last week. Right? Isn't it? Wait. Isn't it? It's the third week. Wait, is it the third
week
Thursday?
or third week of November?
It's the third Thursday of November, isn't it?
So okay,
you get to have some beautiful.
Have some turkey.
Yeah, don't put the football game on or anything. Put RSL on the background for the Thanksgiving dinner.
You're gonna eat some turkey, and you're gonna go. This tryptophan makes me tired. And you're gonna want to take a. Turkey's not that good, anyways, huh? I guess we only eat this once a year. So guys, that's when we're gonna be on. I will be doing a scary game stream for kind of the Halloween season. So if you want to join me for that, I'm on at 1:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. KST. So a little bit earlier than when we start here for RSL. We do have merch, guys. And we've actually been selling a decent amount of these shirts. So check it out. If you're a Patreon supporter, it's 20% off. We've also got a bunch of other cool stuff on the site. So if you were looking to get some cool things.
Yeah, like some pins to put on your sick biker jackets.
That's
and
right,
stuff.
for your rocker jackets, maybe for your backpack.
The backpack.
Yeah,
maybe your fanny pack if you're,
You know, when you go to school with your backpack on, and then your teacher goes, "Oh, you watch RSL."
I know what that
RSL.
is.
I'm a smart teacher.
Yeah, you get an A+
you get an
for
A+,
that.
Yeah. YouTube.
We love YouTube.
We love YouTube.
And we want you to also love our YouTube.
We need to grow our YouTube because, YouTube is basically just like the biggest thing on the internet. A lot of people, they don't have time to watch us live. Obviously, it's an English language broadcast and we're based in Seoul. So, there are some Europeans that are, up early in the day. There are some degen Americans that are up in the middle of the night.
My kind.
Yeah, total vampires, okay? They'll die if they see sunlight. But
the screen light from their monitor is already enough.
Only blue light will not kill them. No, even that's dangerous. They got to wear those little gunner glasses.
You remember way back when they had those gamer glasses or whatever that blocked out some of that light or whatever, and there were people at pro gamer events having those.
Yeah, that was a whole phase, man. Now we need you guys to subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube now, probably you're already subscribed. But a lot of people, we just want to basically get this out in the algorithm so everybody sees it. There's a lot of huge StarCraft II YouTubes, and we're certainly not one of them yet, but we want to be. So we want to get this to as many people as possible. So please do that. The information for the page is just at the top of the screen. And is that everything?
I think that's almost everything.
November, join us. And in December, we're going to have our live event. We don't know exactly. So we're going to get the venue booked first and then kind of try to figure out, okay, how much show time can we make out of the space that we've got there for. And then we need to figure out how to sell tickets online. I think there's some services that do that here in Korea. Patreon supporters are going to be notified first. And I think we might be selling those before Season 3. I don't know. Just be on the lookout. I don't know if it's going to sell it or not, but, there's not that many live StarCraft II events anymore.
Yeah.
And there's actually still a decent number of people that like the game. So you do want to be down there for that. So
yes.
be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, it'll be super sick. We'll notify you guys as soon as
We're
have
going to
it.
try to do it early enough that you could, if you're out of the country, you could, reasonably buy airline tickets in time and book a hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully. Also, look out for the qualifier links for season number 3 as well.
Yes.
That'll be coming up very shortly as well. We're going to post those on our Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. So those will be there. The links will be there. So if you want to qualify for the next season, if you're a pro gamer listening, then that will be there. We'll put it up for you. And if you're not a pro gamer and you want to try it anyways, you can. It's literally
anybody
open.
can try out for this.
You can just try to play. You might play against some really high level player and just have some fun with it.
You might get your face ripped off by a pro gamer, but you can play. Okay, you can go inside the gorilla's cage if you want to, but you might get hurt.
Yeah.
Guys, that's all the time we have. We're gonna get a little dinner together here. We hope you enjoyed the season, and we look forward to bringing you season 3. We love you. Bye-bye.